why I pop my balloon? It's more of language. Because I'm an Englishera, halata. I can come off as strong to a lot of people that I tried dating. They find me strong. And then pull, as a nosebleed. Like, I get that a lot. And it doesn't offend me. I feel like baka ma-overwhelm ka sa akin. And baka ma-overwhelm rin ako sa'yo pag straight Tagalog. Yun na.
I want to give shout outs to Marion Honor because her show has been dominating the internet airspace
I
for the
know.
past 2 weeks.
Is this coincidence or is this planned out that she picks or her management team picks this individuals, these personalities?
Maybe, might be by design, but let's talk about the other girl who's been taking a lot of flack in social media besides Josh, the golden retriever boy.
The GR.
Now
The
let's talk
dog.
about the dog.
The dog of the show.
Yeah, let's talk about the golden retriever girl, but they call her Englishera because she looked like she was downplaying the other guy because she said that she's gonna be mostly talking
Talking
in
English. Yeah, straight English. Straight English, she said.
Kind of feel bad for her though.
Yeah, because like, I think that statement is the only problem. Because if you watch the rest of the episode, she was okay.
She seems like a sweet girl.
She seems normal.
So everybody there seems abnormal
I didn't say anything like that. I just said that she seems normal.
compared
Just-
to
No, just to Josh.
No.
no, just the fact that that statement alone, she was
Yeah.
judged for that.
yeah.
But after that, she asked for a balloon back.
Mm.
So after that, she seems okay. She seems normal.
Because I can see her having a bad experience with somebody before where she was turned down because of how she speaks. When in her head, she's not doing anything wrong. But then the guy was intimidated with her.
Yeah. Unless her past relationship, the guy doesn't have any clue at all on how to speak English or understand English. So they're having miscommunication. Right? I don't
Maybe-
know.
I've seen this clip of Inka Magnaye where she is talking about she's always getting flack for speaking mostly in English.
With me kasi, I grew up speaking primarily in English.
Yeah.
And my parents sent me to an international school. I have
Yeah.
cousins who don't understand Filipino.
Maraming ganyan sa
Yeah,
atin.
marami. Yeah. I grew up here kasi some people comment, laki bang ibang bansa yan? Ba't di niya kaya ganyan? It's the
Yeah.
environment that you grew up
Yeah.
in.
Depends on the
okay?
person.
Yeah, it's not my fault that everyone around me when I was growing up spoke in English.
Yeah.
They're trying to smart shame her. But for her, that's the environment that she grew up in.
That being said, when I get pissed, syempre, you revert to the language that is most familiar to you.
Correct.
Because so my brain thinks in English. That means if I speak in Tagalog, tina-translate ko pa yan in my head. I think it in English and then I translate it in my head before it comes out of my mouth.
Yeah.
So it's easier for me to communicate in English.
What if she's speaking in English? Does that refute like her arguments? Like say it's in a discussion. A lot of people will discredit your argument and then just go say that you're trying to be smart.
Yeah.
Because
Oh, puro English ka naman eh.
Whatever you said, hindi na yun ang pinapakinggan nila.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Just like me. I don't know about you. In our podcast, whenever like I try to think first, that's why I'm slower. And sometimes like the he or she is all messed up.
Yeah, I get
Our
that.
adjectives are messed
Yeah.
up. Like we can't blame you guys. Like I'm not perfect with English. I'm not born here.
We stigmatize like being able to speak in English properly. We've had a bunch of comments before telling us that
We should speak in Tagalog.
Tagalog. We had this nicer comment before that we could be more entertaining
Yeah.
and we could get our points across better if we spoke in Tagalog. I understand that.
Yeah.
I guess what differs is the goal of what
Yeah.
we are doing.
Like the
this.
audience that we're aiming
Yes.
for, right?
Besides us being here in Canada, like the main point,
Our mission.
the niche that we are trying to get is the second-gen immigrants for them to have a better idea of why
The boomers.
motherland Filipinos act. Not just
Filipino
the boomers,
boomers.
but motherland Filipinos. Just so they get to tap in more with how the Philippines is right now, because what they know of the Philippines is what their parents imparted to them or what they get from the news. They won't really get pop culture news from mainstream
Like from mainstream,
news.
from old media.
Yes.
Us new media will help. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
or
know if
try.
we're helping. Yeah, we're trying to
That's
help.
what we're trying to do. If they wanted us to speak in Tagalog, tangin na madali lang yun.
Sobra.
May nagsabi, hirap na daw tayo. But,
Di
again,
naman.
it is a challenge that
Yeah.
we want to take.
And it's helping myself too
Yeah.
to speak better. I'm learning a lot of pop culture stuff from this guy.
Well, that's regardless if
Because I'm
you
a
speak
boomer.
in English or Tagalog. Though. Here's my take, though. They always say this is smart shaming. I kind of agree,
Yeah.
but I feel like for the most part, this is more of a class war thing. People think if you try to be good with English, you are trying to project yourself as smart.
True.
That's what people say.
Yeah.
I feel like people who try to get good in English are trying to project that they are of a higher class.
Yeah. In the words of Josh, the Golden Retriever,
Pretty much up in the higher echelon of, like, let's say, nakakataas.
higher echelon.
Yeah. Right? So, me at least, I would associate like having the proper cadence, the proper diction
Yeah.
with being a higher class than being smart. Because there's dumb motherfuckers who know English.
Are you talking
They're
about
not smart.
those Torontonians, the young ones? They're
The waste
trying to
youths.
they're trying to mimic
Jamaican.
Drake's.
Yeah.
Is that Jamaican? Like
I think
Drake's
that's what he's
accent?
trying to project.
This broccoli heads.
Yeah. Yes. But there's going to be like dumbasses who
Yeah.
know good English, but they're gonna be rich though.
Yeah.
That's why I don't affiliate like speaking English with being smart. Sure, there's going to be like some aspect of it, but it's pretty much like memorization anyways.
Yeah. No, but in the Philippines, you like they're affiliated together. If you're smart, you can speak English. Here in the West, it's kind of normal.
Because that's the language they
Yeah.
grew up with. I got some white coworkers. They suck at spelling. Like they know how to speak it,
Yeah, of course.
but they still suck at it. That's why I don't affiliate it with being
Yeah,
smart.
intellectual and in English.
Like the longest time, that's how they try to frame it. That if you are speaking in English, you are trying to project yourself as smart. For me, I would say that if you are speaking in English, you are trying to project more of having a higher class. And that is why people hate people who speak in English or try to exclusively speak in English because they feel like they're snobs.
But I think, yeah, this is just my take. I think they're just trying to compensate for their lack, for their lack of whatever, just to smart shame other people, though.
They try to project their disdain for themselves for lacking knowledge in this certain
Yeah.
aspect. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
I can see that.
It's like people are smart shaming other people as a defense mechanism for their lack
Could
in
be.
in arguing in English.
Could be.
Or
Yeah.
lack of their own knowledge, right? They know themselves that the other person's better,
Well,
but
I
they
guess,
just don't want to admit it.
Well, I guess if you're backed into a corner in the argument and then you're confident enough with your English, I guess just risk it and then just start speaking in English.
Yeah.
Gauge your opponent if they're gonna attack you personally
Yeah.
once you start speaking in English because they get backed into the corner too.
Yeah.
And then
And
they
they're just
can't
lost for
understand
word,
your
yeah.
point. And then, oh, you're trying to sound smart. I am going to project myself as smart with my arguments or with my takes, not with how I speak
Yeah.
English. Does it lessen your nationalistic pride if you choose to speak in English?
No.
I kind of understand the argument. But there's going to be people that argue about this and not know basic Tagalog anyways.
Because you know what? I think it all depends on the place and time.
I guess that's a big factor. Like here in Canada, I hate it when Filipinos approach you
And
and
speak
then
in Tagalog.
start speaking in Tagalog.
At work.
At work. We're in Canada. This is going to be a bad look for us
Yes.
Filipinos. If there's nobody around, that's when I start speaking in
Tagalog.
But as soon as somebody enters the vicinity or somebody enters the proximity of where they can hear me speak,
Yeah.
I start switching back in English.
Especially if they're non-Filipinos, right?
Yes.
It's just a common courtesy, I think.
Yes. Because even Filipinos do this. It doesn't have to be English and Tagalog.
Yeah.
We have some kababayans who talk in their native dialect even when they are around
Like the
people
Tagalog, yeah.
not speaking those dialects.
Yeah.
Doesn't it irk you when that happens? I try to extend the same courtesy towards our overlords.
Yeah.
The whites.
Our puti friends,
Our puti friends.
our puti co-workers.
Yes. I get their idea of being less nationalistic if you prefer to speak in English. But don't be overcompensating when, even in Tagalog, you speak mostly in colloquial. If you start like speaking like deep Tagalog, like sure, I'm not gonna contest
Yeah.
that.
That's gonna be weird.
Yeah, but
I only do that when we're making fun of something.
I get being overly protective of your language, but it doesn't hurt you though, like knowing English, especially with how Philippines is like set up anyways. It's
Yeah.
gonna open more doors for you
Exactly.
if you know English.
Yeah.
Like for me, sure, I know English, but I suck at math though.
Yeah.
And I guess that's how my brain is wired.
Yeah, we did talk about that in the past, right?
Yes.
It's either you're good in English but you suck at math, or you're
good
at math and you suck in English.
And if you're good in both, you are the exception to the rule.
Yeah, you're in the spectrum.
You are.
No, you're a
Maybe.
genius. Maybe, or you're a genius. I don't
If
know.
you are good at both, you don't have friends, probably.
Or
Mostly
your
just
parents,
leeches.
your parents are strict.
or
They want you to be best at everything.
or they don't love you because they're busy with work. And they were able to send you
Yeah.
to a good school. Well, apparently, when they shot those episodes, it was
Same
not
day.
good conditions.
Oh, okay.
I read from Golden Retriever Boys AMA in the Chica PH subreddit that they were shooting it starting from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Wow.
with no talent fee
Okay.
and just a free lunch and picture with Marion. That's all they got from it. So
Wow. Or
And-
the possibility of finding love.
yes,
I guess that's the biggest
best
prize.
case scenario.
And then they'll get a free date.
Yep. And then what happened to most of them was worst case where they were ridiculed in the internet. I'm not gonna be absolving ourselves. We kind of dipped in the pool of ridiculing them, but I can confidently say that I was ridiculing Golden Retriever Boy's strategy with how he tried to get a date and not with his looks,
Yeah.
not with
Like
how
being
he carried
natural.
himself. Yeah.
And that goes to show that when I watch the Englishera part, like the
Yeah.
reels, the shorts, yeah, she seems full of it.
Yeah.
But once I watched the whole episode, oh, I liked her. I like her. Like,
She seems sweet.
yeah, it's just that part. You know what? I don't mind. Now I understand why she's wanting to sue the network or the platform because of what they did. But
Josh, in his AMA, talked about it, like how they were edited to be perceived in a certain light.
Yeah.
So, I guess it kind of alters your perspective of them. Of course, to be
Editing.
more entertaining or to be more rage baiting,
yeah,
that's part of it.
and it worked. It worked for Marion Honor
Yeah.
and the show, but not for them, not for the other people.
I get why people can see her as condescending because that might be her defense mechanism
Yeah.
for herself. But then you're gonna have to look inwards yourself too, like why is this your defense mechanism? Again, my whole take with this is she seems sweet.
Yeah, she's a sweet girl. I like her. I like her confidence.
Yep.
Like how she project herself. It was good. It's just that part, that snippet
Yeah.
from that show
It did not help.
did not help her.
Yeah.
And she's a victim.
Yeah.
She's a victim of that show, I think. And considering that she didn't get any talent fee,
Yeah. I get them and their beef with Golden Retriever Girl. But if you are intimidated with how she is projecting herself, shouldn't you like look inwards too and why am I intimidated by
Yeah.
somebody who just prefers to speak in English?
yeah. It's just like whatever she said there, it didn't feel right on how she said it.
Feel whatever you want to feel. I'm not gonna tell you to feel otherwise. If you feel like she's condescending, I kind of agree with you, but how you act towards this feeling, that's what you should be like thinking twice about.
And stop smart shaming, guys. Study. Unless this guy's really annoying or girl. Right? It's hard. It's hard to tell.
It's hard. It's
A
hard
lot of
to
people
look
are different, yeah.
It's hard to look towards inside yourself.
Yeah. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Does that work? I don't know if that's going to work in this episode.
I agree. But yeah, you got Edmon here.
And you got me, 2X. And this is Twice the D.